Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We really don't have many ranked versus ranked matchups entering Week 13, but that doesn't mean there aren't some big games that you need to watch. The season is slowly coming to a close, which means conference championship races are heating up, the college football playoff race is heating up, and as always, we're here to break down this today 4 games that are kind of flying under the radar, but games that will have an impact on those conference title races, games that will have an impact on the college football playoff race. And as we always say, the weeks that on paper appear to be the most lackluster are always the most dangerous. So buckle up. Let's get into this thing. Week 13 predictions. We have 2 big-time Game of the Week videos coming your way starting tomorrow. One of them, of course, being Oregon and USC. But these are 4 games that are flying under the radar. And let's start on a Friday night, late night Friday night, out west in Las Vegas, Hawaii at UNLV. Why should you watch this game? Why should you stay up for this game? Because it's huge for the Mountain West title race. It's huge for the Mountain West championship. Look, Hawaii has been a pleasant surprise this year. I've really enjoyed watching the Rainbow Warriors. They're 7-3, 4-2 in conference play. UNLV has been fun to watch as well. Year 1 under Dan Mullen. He has continued the success that Barry Odom had there. 8-2, 4-2 in conference play. So they're tied in the standings. Here's where it gets interesting. The leader of the Mountain West right now is San Diego State. They are 8-2, 5-1 in conference play. But there are 5 teams behind the Aztecs, all tied for second at 4-2 in conference play. Hawaii and UNLV, as we mentioned, being one of them. Hawaii already owns the tiebreaker, if needed, over San Diego State. They destroyed the Aztecs 38-6. So this is where it gets interesting. The winner of this game keeps their conference title hopes alive, catapults in the rankings. The loser is going to be out with their 3rd conference loss of the year. Take a look at this game. It's really interesting. It's a battle between 2 different offenses. Hawaii loves to throw the football. Micah Alejado has been phenomenal. 8th in the nation, averaging over 302 passing yards per game. UNLV, they're really enjoying running the football, averaging over 200 rushing yards per game. That's good for 20th in the nation, led by Jaden Thomas, who has 780 yards and 8 touchdowns. And then their quarterback, Anthony Calandria, has been phenomenal as well, 511 yards for him. The key, though, the difference in this game, the reason we're going to be picking Hawaii is because UNLV's defense isn't good. The Rebels are 129th in the nation in total defense, giving up nearly 450 yards per game. That includes over 264 passing yards per game. It's 120th in the nation. Hawaii traditionally has not been known for great defenses. This year, they've got one. 52nd in the nation in total D. So you've got one of the best passing attacks in the nation, a decent defense that's certainly better than UNLV's. Hawaii off a bye week as well. Give me the Rainbow Warriors to win this game. I think it could be high scoring, but at the end of the day, if I need an offense to make a play in the clutch, I'm going with Micah Alejado. I'm going with the Rainbow Warriors. Give me Hawaii to go to 8-3, 5-2, and keep those Mountain West title hopes alive. How about Missouri at Oklahoma? I love this game, and this is one of those weird games that could result in a massive upset and create chaos, especially in the college football playoff race. An old Big 12 rivalry, the first meeting between Missouri and Oklahoma in Norman since 2011. We know last year Missouri won an absolute thriller, 30-23 in Columbia, their first meeting as SEC teams, but now Oklahoma getting to host their former rival where they own a 67-25-5 series edge over the Tigers. You look at this game, though, classic letdown game, right? A game where Oklahoma is going to be heavily favored after their big-time win on the road at Alabama, which reignited their college football playoff hopes, and playoff hopes that will happen and will come true if the Sooners win out. And that would include a win over Missouri. That would include a win over LSU in the season finale. But you look at Missouri, they're looking to play spoiler. They're not in the SEC title race. They're not in the playoff race, but they love nothing more than to come on the road and stun Oklahoma in an early morning game on Saturday. Here's the thing, though. How has Oklahoma gotten to this point? They've gotten to this point not really because of their offense, but because of their defense. Winning games at Tennessee at night and then at Alabama, insanely impressive. A defense that ranks 11th in the nation and has forced 6 turnovers in their last 2 games. They forced 3 against Tennessee, forced 3 against Alabama, had a defensive touchdown in both of those games. Absolutely insane. So you're taking one of the best defenses in the country in Oklahoma, and they get to come back home to face a freshman quarterback in Matt Zollers, right? Bo Prabula gets hurt against Vanderbilt. Matt Zollers comes in, tries to rally them to a victory, can't do it. He's done well since then, but now Zollers is making his first road start of his career. is coming on the road against a top 10 team with playoff aspirations. In Norman, in my opinion, is one of the tougher places to play in the entire country. That's not a good recipe for success and for a win if you're Missouri. The Tigers, I'm sure, are going to want to try to run with Ahmad Hardy, who's one of the best running backs in the nation. Has rushed for over 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns this year. A Missouri rushing offense that ranks 6th in the entire country. But Oklahoma's defense is 4th in the nation in stopping the run, giving up just 82 rushing yards per game. Maybe this is a low-scoring game because Missouri does have a good defense, and Oklahoma's offense, to me, has been fairly lackluster. But with home field advantage, with a more veteran quarterback in Oklahoma's John Mateer, and certainly with, to me, the defensive edge, I think Oklahoma's going to take care of business in this game. They improve to 9-2, and again, will be one win away from the college football playoff if they can survive LSU in that season finale. Louisville at SMU. Honestly, if I wanted to, I could have put every ACC game on this board, right? I could have put every ACC game in this video because that is one of the most interesting conference races in the entire country. The ACC and the American are two conferences I'm watching very, very closely as we near the end of the season. Because right now, if the ACC season were to end, right now, it'd be Georgia Tech versus Virginia in the ACC championship, of course, just like we all predicted. But I have a feeling there's going to be some chaos here. And this game between Louisville and SMU could provide that chaos. This is absolutely a much bigger game for SMU than it is Louisville. As Lee Corso would say, Louisville shot their wad last week. All their opportunities to make the playoff, to make the ACC championship, went away with back-to-back home losses to California, where they were a heavy favorite, and then to Clemson, where they couldn't make a field goal to save their life. They make just one of the, 3 missed field goals? Louisville wins that game. This game at SMU is much bigger. It has higher implications, but Jeff Brom, as good of a coach as he is, typically has been shown to choke in the clutch. That was once again the case these last couple of weeks. But now they're going on the road to SMU. Louisville 7-3, 4-3 in conference play. SMU is 7-3, but 5-1 in conference play. Meaning if the Mustangs win this game, they are still very much in the hunt for the ACC championship if Georgia Tech or Virginia were to slip up somewhere, and that's highly likely. So SMU, again, only behind Georgia Tech, Virginia, and Pittsburgh for an ACC title. They're still in the hunt. SMU has to win this game if they want to keep those hopes alive, and they will. They will. They will beat Louisville. Why? Because I don't think the Cardinals are going to be motivated. They're hungover after a Friday night blackout loss to Clemson. They have nothing left to play for. All their hopes and dreams are gone. Now they have to come on the road to an SMU team that is hungry. I just don't see it happening. And here's the other kicker. As good as Louisville's defense has been, to an extent, they got torched a few weeks ago against California in their own house, right? SMU currently has the 17th ranked passing attack in the nation, averaging nearly 285 passing yards per game. And Kevin Jennings, as much hate as he's gotten, I feel like has improved as the year's gone on, right? He had 6 interceptions in the first 5 games of the year. In the first 5 games of the year, he has 6 interceptions. But he's only thrown 3 interceptions in his last 5. So he's improving. He's taking care of the football. This passing attack is still pretty potent. SMU's got the home field advantage. They've got all the motivation in the world. I just don't see how the Mustangs lose this game. I don't think Louisville's going to want to be there. I think they've kind of phoned it in. They might lose this game, beat Kentucky at best 8-4, but I just don't see them playing spoiler for SMU, who's well-rested, ready to go, and again is looking to make the playoff for the second year in a row. Finally, another game that unfortunately kind of lost its luster because one of the teams lost a game that maybe they shouldn't have. BYU at Cincinnati. This was a game that I was really looking forward to, and I still am, but would have been looking forward to it a little bit more if it was that top 25 matchup. But Cincinnati had to lose at home to Arizona. This is still an interesting game, though, especially when it comes to the Big 12 standings. BYU 9-1, 6-1 in conference play. Cincinnati 7-3, 5-2 in conference play. So a Cincinnati win here keeps them alive for the Big 12 championship. Keeps them alive for that. And also, I think in return, probably plays spoiler for BYU in terms of their Big 12 title hopes and the college football playoff hopes as well. So, despite not being that top 25 matchup, despite not being 9-1 BYU versus 8-2 Cincy, both one loss in conference play, it still has major implications when it comes to the conference and the playoff, right? But here's the thing. As much of an advocate for chaos as I am, as much as I love chaos and want to see it happen like all the time, I don't think we're going to get it here. Because I am going to pick BYU to win this game. I know the BYU fans in the comments are going to go crazy. Wow! It's freezing over because he's picking BYU. But I mean, I've never had anything against BYU. I certainly have had my doubts with them, but I've never had anything against them. And I do believe they are the better team in this matchup. Coming off a big blowout victory over TCU. They've got all the momentum in the world. You can't help but wonder if Scott Satterfield's squad at Cincinnati is going to be a little hungover, despite the stakes of this game still being massive. Going to be a little hungover. But the bigger reason I'm picking BYU here is because their offense is running like a well-oiled machine, and Cincinnati's defense isn't that great. The Bearcats are 87th in the nation in total defense, giving up nearly 400 yards per game. They just gave up 475 yards of offense at home to Arizona, including 181 on the ground. They were outgained by 131 yards by the Wildcats. BYU, meanwhile, is averaging nearly 200 rushing yards per game. If Cincinnati can't stop the run, the Cougars will run all over them. Factor in that Bear Bachmeier, I think it's getting better and better with each week. He had 296 yards last week against TCU. This BYU team, I maybe isn't getting the respect they deserve across the nation, but their quarterback's playing well. Their defense is very tough. They are a very physical team. They're running the ball extremely well. I just don't think Cincinnati will be, one, motivated enough, nor two, have the defensive capacity enough to stop this offense. Give me BYU to win on the road, improve to 10-1, and barring some chaos in the season finale, all but clinch their spot in the Big 12 championship, where they will be one win away from the college football playoff. So there you go, guys. 4 games in Week 13 that you need to watch. 4 games in Week 13 that do have massive implications in conference title races. One of these games results in a big upset. It could shake up the entire college football playoff race. That's the beauty of college football. Keep an eye on it. These are the games, and then tomorrow we'll start breaking down the big games of the week, and that includes that Oregon-USC game that you can see behind us. By far the biggest game of the week, but do not sleep on these while that one is going on. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at The Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home to our expert picks. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country. You do not want to miss out on those. Again, the link for that down in the description below. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.